So to me, realizing that the world was coming to accept the fact that story is story.
To put simply, the Black Renaissance is the latest iteration in the metamorphosis of black art over the years. In this specific case, black film. Due to our history as a people, black art as a whole has a tendency to be reactive. For the most part, it does not exist in a bubble. I'm thinking of works from Miyazaki or Scorsese that define a generation, but still represent a very individual point of view. I mean, okay, look at hip-hop. Even at its most basic, it's still inherently political, culturally infused, representations of hypermasculinity acting as direct responses to the denigration of the black man on the world stage. Basically, the world thinks we're worthless, so we show our worth. We speak in the language the world is most familiar with. We talk about our cars, our jewelry, we talk about our houses, we talk about our women. Black art, more so than most other artistic dialects, has a tendency to be more communal, to represent a shared cultural mindset. And each generation represents a new point of view to that mindset. Telling the same story over and over because it's just as relevant now as it ever was. But each New Year group chooses to use a new set of words, take a different angle to the conversation, getting stronger with their speech patterns, with their prowess and technique as they learn from the last generation and pave a way for the next.
You know, the question is this renaissance that we see happening right now with directors like Ava DuVernay and Ryan Coogler, F. Gary Gray, Barry Jenkins, Dee Reese.
What I call the Black Renaissance is the current movement of black art that we're living through. Oscar Micheaux broke into the industry as the first major black independent filmmaker in 1913. Sidney Poitier, the first black actor to win an Academy Award in 1964. The late 1960s had the blaxploitation era, represent a new point of view, black people as dominant, imposing, badass, directly reacting to Sidney Poitier's recurring depiction of black people as refined. Julie Dash with Daughters of the Dust, Spike Lee with Do the Right Thing, John Singleton with Boys in the Hood, all expanding the conversation, adding a sense of nuance as we slowly moved into the 2000s. Denzel Washington, Tyler Perry, Will Smith, Whoopi Goldberg all represent the last piece of the puzzle, financial success, as they bring in millions for their films and incentivize more money being shoveled into black-led cinema. They made the entire movement feasible, leading us to today.
I think that there is an ebb and flow, and there are backlashes, but I do feel like this time that we're in right now is the greatest time in black film.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be in the greatest time in film.
This is a series I've wanted to do for a while now, acknowledging what I think is the most exciting time for cinema as a whole. The first time black filmmakers have had little to no restrictions on what stories they can tell and how they can tell them. We've never seen stories like this on this scale, and what excites me is that we're only scratching the surface. We're dipping our toes in the water. The ideas being presented are very young, very experimental. Everyone's trying to figure out their footing, taking it one step at a time. I mean, imagine Jordan Peele with a 9-figure budget. Imagine Barry Jenkins doing sci-fi films. Imagine all these artists taking it just a few steps further. 10 years from now, I can't even fathom what kind of stories we're going to be seeing, telling. So I wanted to talk about this now, so that no one can say that we didn't see it coming.